Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this short video I'm going to talk to you about some of the things we've learnt from training during the lockdown. Now, many of you around the world will be training in restricted environments. You'll not be able to get to the gym or to the track. So I'm going to talk through some of the things that we've done to get around this. With a little thought and ingenuity, it's possible to do most of the types of training that you'd normally be able to do if you had access to a track or a gym. Strength training is generally considered to use weights to overload the muscles, to add added resistance, to really target for jumpers and sprinters, fast twitch muscle fibre and the motor units that control them. And in order to do that, generally speaking, you'll need in the weights room a heavy weight, one that's in excess of 75% of your one repetition maximum. Now, as you're seeing on screen, there are some innovative ways to get around this. You'll see, for example, that I've managed to use builder's merchant's bags packed with earth in order to create a heavy resistance in which to squat with. And of course, you can also use shopping bags packed full of books or whatever heavy objects you've got in your house. Much will also depend on the exercise you select. So if you do, for example, single leg squats, Bulgarian split squats, then you're going to get a greater overload on that one leg with more limited resistance than you would if you were doing double-footed exercises. Another good option for an upper body workout with added resistance is to perform a press up and have a partner push between your shoulder blades as you're lifting to add greater resistance to the movement. So that again will require greater strength in order to complete the movement, and therefore you'll be recruiting greater amounts of fast twitch muscle fibre, particularly if you try to do it quickly against that resistance. That rather usefully takes us on to the concept of developing power in a limited training environment. So we want to overcome a resistance as quickly as we can. Jump squats in that respect are a great home workout, restricted workout option. And if you can get up to around about 40 to 50% of your body weight in the two bags, so maybe 20 kilograms on each side, which is possible, then you're going to get a really good power orientated exercise. You'll have seen on the channel contrast, complex and French contrast training workouts and explanations as to what they do. Simply put, they combine plyometrics and weights exercises into sets in order to elicit a greater fast twitch motor unit muscle fibre response. So how can you do that in your restricted environment workout? Well, you can combine jump squats, loaded jump squats, as I've indicated previously, with unloaded jump squats to make it complex. You can also do the same with straight leg jumps, pogo jumps. First set with weights at arm's length, or your shopping bags I should say, full of weight, and then an unloaded set afterwards. Work to 6 to 8 repetitions of each exercise and take plenty of recovery between them so that you can put maximum intensity effort into each one. To this contrast complex method of training, you can also alter or switch between different muscular actions. So you can do concentric jump squats, then eccentric emphasis jump squats, and even isometric emphasis jump squats. Again, you just contrast those exercises with each other, and in doing so you're going to trigger a heightened fast twitch motor unit muscle fibre response. Some of the athletes have even been adding a sprint to the end of a complex, which makes the workout more French contrast training. And I'll put a link on the screen to my video on French contrast training so you can get a fuller understanding of what that method is all about. Okay, so let's consider sprinting and sprint drills. Again, there are a lot of options that you can do at home or in your garden, or if you're able to get out in a park or even on a road or a street if it's safe to do so. I've made quite a few videos on home workouts for sprinting, superset workouts which combine various exercises designed to mimic the long jump takeoff, for example, and the sprint arm action, and also include plyometric exercises. So again, check those out on the site. But what of actual sprinting? Well, of course, you can get outside and sprint on the roads or on grass football pitches if they're flat enough, and you'll be able to maintain quite a lot of your speed. Hill runs are a great inclusion at the moment in your restricted workouts. So you can do short sprints, 30, 40 metres, even 10 metres up an incline, and really work on your acceleration capabilities. What I'm also trying to get my athletes to do as well is to, not immediately, but with a 10 to 15 minute rest after they've done their hills, to then sprint on the flat to try to get a direct transference between the uphill runs and the on-flat running. In that way you'll get a greater transference potentially between the resistance that you have to overcome running up the hill and then unassisted, or on the flat running I should say. So what about technical elements for the long jump, the triple jump and sprinting to a degree? Well, that's harder because we aren't able to get to a track and use a pit, for example. However, you can do lots of takeoff movements. You can do some on the spot, just moving into takeoff position, stepping forwards, driving forwards, walking back, stepping forwards, taking off again. But you can also, if you've got a flat surface, using mini hurdles for example, do various takeoff drills, which some of my group members are able to do. And you don't even need to use the mini hurdles, in that you can just do successions of one step in between landing on the free leg takeoffs, then the same with 3 steps and 5 steps in between where you're generating more speed. So at least you can hang on to a good degree of the ability to take off at speed, which is going to help no end when we return to the pit at some stage, hopefully in the future. Another thing that you should do is mentally rehearse. You should go through your technique in your mind, thinking about the things that you need to work on, whether it be an arm action, movement as you take off, holding of the free thigh, etc. This is where you can actually get ahead of the curve, as it were, in terms of your technical training. By thinking and mentally rehearsing, you'll be able to hopefully train your mind and therefore your body to be able to get into the positions that you require. So again, when you return to jumping at the pit, there shouldn't be too much of a gap between physically putting into practice what you've been doing mentally. I've set up a WhatsApp group with about 40 athletes that I've coached over the years that I've been coaching. And it's great to see them posting some of their videos of what training they've been doing, and also being innovative as well. So it's possible to keep training and to be motivated to do so. And the WhatsApp group has really helped the athletes by showing each other what they're getting up to and trying to maintain some semblance of group training. So if you're a coach, this is something that I'd recommend that you do. As usual, thanks for watching and thanks for supporting the channel during these most difficult times. Good luck with your training, and hopefully it won't be long before we can get back on track and to the pit and training properly again